Artwork in Renison by Kristen, Andrea, and Hannah. Renison University College is a place where people come to live and learn. Here at Renison, diversity and acceptance is what the school prides itself to be. This presentation will focus on the artwork on campus and how it relates to the school. Renison was founded on January 14, 1959 by the Anglican Church. It was named in memory of the Most Reverend Robert John Renison. The school mainly focused in arts, language, and social science.
The piece of art on Renison campus that caught my eye the most was one of two pieces by the same artist that appeared on the wall of the Wong library. When I first look at the painting, the first thing that stands out is the fact that it isn't actually a painting, but a three-dimensional piece of artwork that creates a more personal and realistic scene. The content pops off the page as if you have just been invited into the world that the artist is trying to bring you into. To me, the piece has three parts to it that make me imagine a wall separating each part into its own message. The bottom just contains a simple rose with different shades of pink that light up your entire vision with beauty and innocence. It starts the artwork off with a very simple gesture that is also very satisfying to behold. As my eyes move up the page, it brings my focus to a vase filled with flowers. But this vase is not just a simple, plain and boring vase. The artist gave it life by gifting it texture and personality on the body of it. I start to think about the material that the artist has tried to mimic, and it scares me to want to touch it in fear that it will shatter before me. The maker of the vase has put so much time and thought into the design and the picture painted on it. Just when it seems the vase could not be any more mesmerizing, the flowers softly explode out of the top. Looking at the flowers, I start to smell the citrusy aroma coming from them. Smells of fresh grapefruit and cherry blossom fill the air and guarantee themselves to be remembered. The anhedonia becomes a distant memory, for it's impossible for one to find any disappointment in the art. Lastly, crossing the imaginary line, an elephant appears, although it had been there the whole time. There are many eye-catching factors in this piece. Nevertheless, the elephant seems to be the main focal point of the artwork. The elephant is lifting a tree with life sprouting from the top of it. I feel a sense of accomplishment run through my mind when I look at how the elephant had succeeded at lifting this tree. To me, it symbolizes bravery, effort, and success. I feel inspired. Zooming out of every little detail that was incorporated creates one big picture of many positive emotions, thoughts, and feels, and that is why this piece of art has appealed to me the most.
In 1881, 17,000 strong, driven Chinese men traveled to Canada in pursuit of making a living for themselves and their families. They were not expecting such a rude awakening of the horrific work conditions they would face while building the Canadian Pacific Railway. They were put to work in British Columbia between the freezing Rocky Mountains due to the fact that there were no more Canadian men to work on these parts of the tracks. They were paid half of what Canadian workers were and had been forced to pay for their food as well as cooking and camping supplies. They had been paid so little they had to eat bland rice and would often suffer from the treacherous disease that is known as scurvy. These Chinese laborers had the most dangerous and difficult jobs while working on the railway, blasting a hole through the rock to create tunnels, many getting injured or killed because of the explosive rocks being flung in the air, dirt and rocks sliding down slopes, creating a dangerous and deathly landslide. When the workers were done with one patch of railway, they were forced to pack up all of their belongings and hike up to 40 kilometers to settle once again in horrendous living conditions. Annie Wong's painting perfectly describes what it was like being a Chinese laborer during the construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway. She shows the men tugging the long, heavy slates for the railroad, their faces disgruntled and in agony. She also shows how crowded the camps were, revealing that some men even brought along their wives and children to the poor living conditions they were given when settled in Canada. The fresh air is masked by the smog from the train, filling their nostrils with poison. The women sitting around the crowded railway, breastfeeding their children and washing up around the campsite. This painting allows society to understand the hardships, heartbreak, and hard work that the Chinese immigrants had to suffer through in order to make ends meet.
Next, many of you may not know this, but most of the artwork in Renison has been donated and handmade by individuals connected to the University College. Nicholas Rees, son of Renison's first principal, has a deep history with the school. Nicholas Rees was an art major on campus and created this particular piece of artwork in hopes of preserving what was left of Waterloo's natural forest. In particular, the three-dimensional sculpture was made by Nicholas Rees himself in May of 2013. This sculpture was created from two trees that originated from Renison's property to make way for the new building. That includes a Norway maple tree and a black locust tree. I believe the trees are stories from Renison's past, and the rings represent Renison's growth as a school. To me, the sculpture looks like the inner workings of a machine. All the different pieces of wood and the shapes of it is made like gears almost, working together as one. It's all about working towards the end results. In addition, the wood holding the picture reminds me of a chain that is connected to all the gears to move together as a team. The stone wall in the background of the picture symbolizes the school's religious background when it was built in 1962. As a result, this brilliant piece of artwork embodies harmony of Renaissance multiculturalism.